What it do, gaming family? What's going on with you guys? I am the Husky Hokage, and this is Blerdography. If you don't already, please go follow this man. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the social medias, man. Check out his podcast. Great individual. He's around at all the cons, so be on the lookout for his content, man, and keep watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's on, everybody? It is me, Mark. Welcome back to another episode of Blerdkast. We in season 3, y'all. Season 3. I can't believe it's been 3 years. So many interviews, so many different podcasts, so many cons, so many things I've been doing over the years. But I am happy to have on the show today a very special guest. I know all my guests are very special, but this one is definitely very special. He's a very entertaining, very funny content creator. He asks all the hard, serious questions in the gaming space. He is someone who I'm glad survived the TikTok apocalypse. Man, I am so happy to have you on the show. Welcome, Husky Hokage.
What's going on, man? Mark, appreciate you for having me on, man. Thank you so much. I'm, just honored to be here. And yeah, man, I didn't think TikTok was gonna be gone long. Like literally, it's gone for like some hours, and it came.
well, we can get into the politics of all that, but it was propaganda, 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We're in the bad place, if that makes sense for anyone who gets that reference. We're in the bad place, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, we can only control the things we control, and right now, we are having an interview. Outside of surviving the end of social media as we know it, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I have been good. It's been a long weekend. Today we celebrate the day of the birth of Martin Luther King.
That's right. It is MLK Day.
Yeah. So shout out to him for everything he's done, despite all the allegations that may be out there, whatever. But the stuff he did for us as a people, as humans, Black people, even people, people of not of color, unmelanated folks, he tried to help them as well. He was more, that's something he was working towards, especially in his later years, trying to get folks to understand, hey, despite the color of our skin, all of us don't make enough money. It's us. It's supposed to be us against them, not them and us and all that. No,
right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain.
That is good. That is what's up. And I'm so happy you brought up MLK Day because this episode will be part of my Living Blurred History series that I'll be doing for Black History Month. So I just want to go ahead and start plugging that in. Not sure when I'm going to post this episode during the month, but it's definitely going to be part of it because you are a Black nerd or a blerd, however you identify. You are a family man. You are a huge gamer. I can't talk enough about you. Why don't you tell my audience about you? You know you.
Yeah. You said a lot of things there, man. I have they say like the jack of all trades. I tend to be that. I am blurred, however you want to say it, blurred, Black nerd, whatever you want to call it. I'm that. I love gaming, anime. You can include wrestling in that. I do other stuff, collectors. I have my hand in kind of a little bit of everything, but gaming is where where my heart is. Outside of that, I am a husband, I'm a father, I coach. I do stuff like that when I'm not in front of the camera or talking about games, but I do that. But like I said, gaming is kind of where my interest has been since I've been, since I can remember. Started when I had the original Nintendo. So I started from there and just kind of grew, and I've always been in and out. Like I've been, doing my high school years, high school, still play games, but mostly I was playing sports. So in and out, but gaming has always been a constant in my life.
That's what's up. Gaming, we're going to get into like a lot of the gaming stuff, a little bit because I have a ton of questions about that. But like gaming in general, from when we grew up as kids, from like the Sega Genesis, PS1, PS2 era to now has become such a monster of an industry in itself. Like it's completely separate from the entertainment industry versus being a part of it because of his revenue and things like that. So
Absolutely.
again, we're gonna get into it because I went to college for video game design, and I'm like, man, what could have been? But I hate programming. Like it's the most annoying thing ever. One semicolon, 2,000 lines of code ruined. But anyway, I won't rant about that because I did it in that one podcast. But before we get in the interview, before we start talking deep about all our favorite nerdy things, the Blerd Nation is demanding you answer this burning question. And the question is, what are you currently geeking out to right now?
So actually, before we just started, I was working on I build Gunpla. I do the Gundam model kits. So I was actually
Mhm.
working on that today. So I can't really say because I don't know when you're gonna put this out. So what I also do is I currently I'm a writer and editor for gamersocialclub.ca, and we were given a code about a game I did a preview. We got the full release. I got the code for it, so I'm working on that. Can't say what game. I'm on embargo, but I'm working on. That's what I've been doing lately. Today, that's kind of what I'm geeking out on. That and Sakamoto Days. Watched I'm in I think they're like 2 or 3 episodes in right now, but Sakamoto Days is so good. The anime dropped. I'm gonna once I finish or once the season ends, I'm more likely gonna start the manga as well, man. But the Sakamoto Days is so good right now. So yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. I haven't gotten into Sakamoto Days yet, but hopefully soon I can jump into that. It's so much out there to consume,
It is. It is
and I'm
so
just
much.
like if you had told like the 7-year-old me that like I could start a career path just being a nerd and geeking out to like a bunch of, I wouldn't believe you because like just so much has happened, so much has come out. There's just so much there is to be a fan of and so much to do. And I just kind of love the era of humanity we live. Sometimes I like the era of humanity we live in. Let me correct myself and not lie in front of Jesus right now.
Listen.
Um, but like just nerding out is a good distraction
Yeah.
sometimes. Most of the time, like oh my god, the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen.
fix it, Jesus, fix this. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm done
No.
crashing out right now.
Nah, you good. Nah, and I completely understand, man. And that's what gaming has been such a safe space for me. Just growing up. And like, game and people's gaming can be toxic. Not so much gaming, it's mostly the gaming community, especially if you get on certain sites. If you get on Twitter and anything you just about everything you see that's not coming from developers, it's hard to find good positive views about games in general. Everything has it's DEI, everything is woke, everything is this nowadays. When you look, that's why I say I try my best. I have my Twitter page for my game for my Husky Hokage Twitter page. I try
Right.
my best. I'll go on just for a little while and I'll scroll and I try to find like I'm and mostly if I'm on, I'm looking for like if it's a big news day. Like we got Thursday, the Xbox Developer Direct is coming. So it's gonna be like a big news day. I'm looking for like the trailers, things of that nature, so I can report on for gaming news or whatever, something to talk about. But use them in and out quick because I know how bad it can get if I sit there and I'll look at something and you look at the millions of comments or the thousands of comments of folks you're talking about, oh, this game is woke. This game I know not to buy or whatever. Like it's just it's horrible. But as far as gaming is itself, I love it. It's amazing. It's a safe space. It helps helps keep me calm, helps relax. You know what I'm saying? So that for me, that's what it is. But yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I remember, like, I don't consider myself a gamer per se these days no, anymore, but like I grew up gaming. I went to college for gaming. I definitely know what it's like to come home after a long day of work or school and just spend 16 hours playing Smash Brothers Melee, getting ready
Yeah.
for a gaming tournament. Like fun, non-toxic times with your homeboys. Fun
Listen.
times.
Yes. Yes. That's how it is. That's how it is with me. Getting into coming home from work after or doing whatever with my kids, help them do homework, fix dinner, all that stuff. Once I finish doing that, I'll get on the game. I'll find something to play. I know you. Another thing I didn't mention. I'm actually doing a playthrough of The Witcher 3 for my first time. So I'm playing through that. I'm actually on the tail end. Hopefully I can finish it within the next I'll be able to finish it in about 2, maybe 3 hours. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. This is my first time playing through the whole game, and it's been such a good game. Like all the stuff that people were talking about how it was when it first came out, I'm experiencing all of that.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's go ahead and like get the softball questions out in the way. There is something like, all right. I'm gonna be honest. I've been following you for a very long time now. From as long as I remember being on TikTok. And one of the main reasons why I started following you is because of your name, the name of your brand, the Husky Hokage. And I just have to ask the first burning question I want to ask you for years now is why the Husky Hokage? And why didn't I think of it first? Because it's such a good name for someone who looks like us. Like damn, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's my creativity at? Like, why did I think of that? But where did the name come from?
One of my favorite and all-time favorite animes is Naruto. One of my favorite characters in Naruto is not Naruto, but I mean I love Naruto, however, but his dad has always been the Yellow Flash. And if I wouldn't say anything, his name would I'll be able to tell you exactly who I'm. But you know who I'm, the Yellow Flash.
Minato.
Yes, Minato Namikaze. Yes, Minato is my favorite character out of the series. And just the whole thing of being, Hokage. I know everybody, you got the Raikage, all those, but the Leaf Village and all that and everything they made. So I took that and like in the group I'm in, almost like Blerd Over, I'm in a group called the Blerd Syndicate. And one of my friends, one of the people in the group, she gave everybody nicknames. And she knew my love of Naruto and everything like that. So my nickname in her phone, she had me saved as Eros Uzumaki. And just from that, having that, and I was like, and I was trying to think of a kind of a new moniker for myself. So like for the longest of time, I've been known as the Bearded Panda. And I still
Okay.
have that. I still have that as my gamer tags and everything. Like on my all my gamer tags, a lot of my stuff still says been a Builder Panda. But I was like, I want to do a little something different. I want to showcase my love for anime, and even though I'm talking about games, still want to have my love for anime in there, things of the nature. So, and I was thinking something. I was just going through names, and something I had a Funko Pop of I got a well several Funko. I got a Funko Pop of Minato, and I was thinking, maybe I could do something with that. The Hokage, okay, we can do Hokage. And I was like, I'm just playing through names in my head, and all of a sudden Husky popped out. Like, the Husky Hokage. Okay, we got some. We might have some. So I started just roll with that for the longest, and tried it out. Asked a few folks. I was like, how this sound? How this sound? They're like, that's dope. That's dope. And you run into the occasion people who are not in the anime community, and it's they'll say the Husky Hokage. I'm like, so I run into that sometimes, but for the most part, the Husky Hokage, that's kind of where it started, just from doing that and then trying to find a new moniker for myself as I go on, start creating for basically being a gaming content creator. The Husky Hokage just kind of popped out, and that's what I roll with.
Okay, okay. A little fun question. I'm testing your nerd card right now. So go ahead and pull it out. What are the Husky Hokage's abilities if he was in the Naruto world? Because I know you thought about this.
Oh man, it's been a it's been a minute. I think I had this back when I thought about when I first created the name. And we did something like this in my group. We were all creating bankais like a long time ago, and I had that. I cannot remember what I put down. What would my ability be? It would be something similar to. It would be something dealing with like lightning and wind. Someone like basically something that would be in that uh like a mix of the Chidori and the Rasengan, be something along that lines. With being able to combine like that, like a lightning wind attack. Just having those type of abilities is what I would initially thought of.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Again, I knew you thought about this. Like, this wasn't just a name. This was a persona, a character you
Yeah,
made for
yeah,
yourself. I know how nerds work, so I
yeah.
just had to ask. But let me ask you, where did it start with your content creation? Did the
Hmm.
name come first, or were you already creating content at that point? Basically, where did TikTok come from? Where did you decide to start making TikToks and start posting content on the regular?
So I actually had another page under my old on the Bearded Pound. I still had another page on the Bearded, and I was just doing stuff. But I was doing like skits and stuff of that nature. And I was like, this is fun, but like I want to talk. I want to talk about something I actually, I love. Like I do the like the occasional videos, but most of the stuff it was just funny stuff. I was like, you know what? I really want to talk about stuff. Like that's where I created the name first, and I was like, so I decided one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start me a gaming TikTok, and I'm gonna just, that way I can talk about my game and stuff and everything of that nature. So create the name, and I think the very first video I did was when I went and picked up my I think it was when God of War Ragnarok was coming out. I went and picked up I pre-ordered the collector's edition, and I went and picked that up, and I did like an unboxing type of starter video. I did an unboxing video. I think that was my first video. I did an unboxing video, and boom, and I just kind of went from there. So I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna just start talking about gaming news or gaming, and I can't remember exactly when I started my game of the week questions, but it started off something simple. It was just talking about games. Did my first unboxing was my very first video, revealing like everything that came with the God of War collector's edition, and it just kind of went from there. And it just I was like every day I started gaining traction, started meeting cool people, from comments and things of that nature, and just kind of grew from there.
Since you brought up the gaming questions of the week, do you remember how that exactly came about? And what were some of the more popular gaming questions? Because that's your biggest like video series that you have, and you definitely get a lot of engagement out of that. So I'm just curious, like, where did it originate from, if you can remember, and what were some of the biggest questions that like made you go viral?
It was so that actually started around it's like running a trend when everybody was doing most of the ones I saw, was most people doing like anime questions or anime question of the week or anime question of the day. Shout out to my guy, old man food and anime, because I know he used to do those. And I was like, dang, this is good. I would answer his and things of that nature. And I was like, that's a good idea. And I noticed there wasn't anybody doing like a gaming question. There wasn't really, every now and again you'll somebody ask a question about games or they'll ask a certain like, but nobody was doing it on like a regular basis. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do that. So I started doing it. Usually try to do it on Wednesdays. It's my normal day. Some of the bigger ones are that got a lot of traction. Um, a lot of people like what's your all-time favorite game that got some good, that got some good traction. Trying to think of another one. All-time favorite, what's your favorite bad guy or boss or villain in a game? Like if that, I think that people enjoy, you get a lot of people that came chimed in with different bosses or different villains they enjoy from games. I'm trying to think trying to think of another one. I can't think of anything else that's just pressing, but I know those two right there. Oh, and my Christmas one that I did that I normally do is what's your favorite Christmas gift that's gaming related? And a lot of people that picked up they get a lot of answers, a lot of engagement as well from that one.
So how do you approach creating your content? Do you like plan it out? Like, because you said you want to just talk about gaming news and things like that. Do you search the internet for gaming news, or is it just, well, I'll just let you explain it. How do you plan out your content? And what is the content creation process like for you?
Yeah, so I when I was doing it on the regular, I have to get back to doing my news regularly. But usually, I would do like news. I would have like maybe one or two posts a week about the gaming news, because usually gaming news you have stuff that kind of breaks every day, if not every day, every other day. Something, whether it be big or small, comes out that you can talk about. And so used to do like one or two gaming news content or gaming news posts a week, and then I still had my game of the week question. And if I had anything else, I would do like where I was talking about a certain subject or discussing a certain thing, like there's a question kind of or just something I had on my mind that I want to talk about, I would do those. But usually if it's especially if it's big news, I would like something big coming out or that's coming out or that got announced, I would usually try to deliver that or send it, let people know about that where um things of nature when I think one of the last things I did, I know trying to think what's the last big thing because I haven't did the Switch 2 yet, but like a lot of stuff like that when it comes something a console is being announced. I would pay attention because usually I'm like my Twitter feed and all those stuff. Most everything I listen to or kind of view is gaming related. So a lot of times I'm getting news and a lot of I follow a lot of the like a lot of developers and stuff like that on Twitter and BlueSky and other places. And so as soon as something gets posted, boom, I'm right. I see it. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and let me let folks know about this and things of the nature. So, but that's usually I look for news and then like, or if I'm like, I usually what I do is for my game of the week question, I'll, I usually have a few that I'll write down. Like it'll be a random Sunday. Just sitting there and something will pop in my head. Ooh, that'll make a good question. Let me put that in my notes. So I do that. Usually those come out of just nowhere, or if I'm playing something and it just sparks it, I'll write it down or what have you. But process is just I get because I do mostly my all my recordings are normally on my phone. I want to get come back to using my computer. I got to get a better editing software, but that's you just think of what I want to talk about and I try to get in my mind of what I want to say cause like we just kind of what we mentioned, like it's hard sometimes when especially when you're trying to report on something. And when I do especially when I do news stuff, I try to give, how I do it is I'll tell you exactly what they're saying in the news or whatever. Like if it's something, we gotta say exactly what they're saying. Then I'll kind of come back and give my thoughts on whatever the issue is or whatever this going on. So, but yeah, that's, just thinking through processes. I don't write anything down for real outside of the like if I think of a good gaming question, I may write that down, but I rarely write anything down. Usually it's if I see something, oh, I need to talk about that. I want to report about that or talk about that. So
Since you brought it up, and I know you haven't like reported about it on your channel yet, but this won't be out before you do that, so we can go ahead and just kind of jump into it. What are your thoughts about the Switch 2 and the announcement and the games that they announced at launch? The special surprise thing that I kind of been wishing the gaming companies would do for a long time now, and now it looks like that they're starting to do that with the Switch 2. What are your overall initial thoughts so far?
I think it's gonna be amazing. I know I'm looking forward to seeing what all games gonna become. I know we saw the game they showed at the reveal because it wasn't a preview or anything. It was mostly just a reveal, and what we saw at the reveal was the new Mario Kart game. And that's awesome. I love the Switch. I primarily play Switch for Pokemon. That's it. So
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I will always buy a Nintendo product for Pokemon generation game. Real men play Pokemon.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you. I promise you. So when Pokemon Legends ZA come out, whether it's I have it a regular Switch, I mean a current Switch or the Switch 2, I'm getting it. I am gonna get
Right.
it. And
It's definitely getting got. I got the
yeah.
money set aside right now just for that, and hopefully come out on the regular Switch because I'm like, until they put a Pokemon game on the new Switch, I won't touch the new Switch. Maybe if they do like a Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, or Breath of the Wild remake or something. But other than that, because I don't even have a PS5 yet, and I'm just like, I'm so out of touch with gaming right now. But I will play the Switch for some
Yeah.
Pokemans. Like I
Oh yeah.
love it. I'm currently doing a Nuzlocke, and I'm like,
Oh
why do
man.
people do this? This is so aggravating.
It is. It is. That's why. Listen, that is so hard. But I rarely. It's rare that I do enough. Like I'll do more so. Like once I go through the game, beat the story and all that, and do all the extra stuff. That's when I start my building my mons and getting them so I can start doing like online doing trying to get master ball rank on through that. But the Switch 2 looks amazing. I do hope there are some features. There's some features that I would love to see, like the well, somebody mentioned it where if you're you have it undocked, and you say you sit on the couch. Hope
Hmm.
they have a button where you can basically cast your Switch without being hooked up or sat in the dock. Hopefully, have where you can cast it to the dock, and the dock will show it on the TV. That way, you can still just sit on your couch and not have to move. Man, I think hopefully they have something like that.
That would be good. I wish they would just have more streaming services that we can download and use outside of YouTube and Hulu. Like,
Yeah,
can we get like YouTube TV at least? Can we get Disney Plus, at least Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime? As much as I'm mad at corporations in America right now, it is like crack, and I kind of need that fixed.
listen, I get it. Like you said earlier, it's so much out there to absorb and to be into. But yeah, hopefully they'll do that. I'm hoping some of that. I hope they'll allow some of the older accessories to work, like the Pro controller
Yeah,
or
exactly. Because the controllers are insanely expensive. Like, why?
yes, yes. So I'm hoping they have the. Hopefully the controller still work. I have a it's connected now, but I bought a GameCube controller from NYXI, and you can see it's docked on there. But they
Okay.
but like it can come off. It has a thing they can go to in the middle. So hopefully I'll still be able to use the controller part. Maybe not connect. It won't be able to connect directly to the actual Switch 2, but hopefully just being able to use the controller part, they'll still be allowed it through Bluetooth. So I'm hoping for that. We already know it's going to be backwards compatible with a lot of those Switch One games. I think the only ones that probably won't work are like games that require like a certain accessory, like some of those labo things or something like that. So
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
I think those may not. But I mean, the Switch Two looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm glad they went ahead and revealed because everybody knew what it looked like, especially after CES. Um,
Right, right.
so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait till the direct in April. Hopefully the price. Hopefully they won't try to tax us too bad. I'm thinking 399 for the price, but that's just with the Switch 2, unless they have a OLED version. Unless they have the OLED version already, which I don't think they do. But
No, I mean, you would think they would since the Switch Pro was the last thing they released, which is OLED. You think they would just use that, but go ahead.
yeah, it's Nintendo, and they moved
They
to the
do some
beat.
Nintendo-y things
Correct.
sometimes. There's some things I wish the Switch can do. Like obviously the Switch is very popular. Everybody that I know pretty much has a Switch. It's just an easy console to have.
Yeah,
I wish they would allow some type of remote play, especially with like the backwards compatible games between the Switch One and the Switch Two. Because like my Switch is not going anywhere. I'm not gonna sell my Switch and get the Switch Two just because it's backwards compatible. I'm gonna I have multiple Nintendo devices. Like that's just how it was back in the Game Boy era, especially like in the Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver area, the dual what was it, Advance Wars era. I had
yeah,
multiple Game Boys for different reasons, different games. And even still to this day, like I have two Switches now just because of Pokemon alone. So
yeah,
I'm not getting rid of my Switch. So I wish they can make a way or have some kind of way where the two switches of the generations can interact with each other. And another thing, Halo is going to be on the Switch, and that actually kind of got me excited because
yeah,
one of
yeah,
my favorite game on the 360, even though I hate first person and third person shooters, I did love playing Halo just because of the era I was in. I was in college
yeah,
and we was making video games and everybody was just gaming out and everybody was just it was Halo 1, Halo 2, and Melee. That's all we played.
yeah, yeah.
And Tekken.
And see, it's been a big thing with especially a lot of us Xbox guys that were like hardcore Xbox over everybody. Seeing, and I'm happy that other people are gonna get to play Halo, or get to experience it for the first time. I think that's gonna be dope. But like I said, it makes you my only thing about Xbox is the only thing I want to see from Xbox is just some consistency and just be transparent with your people. As
Right.
far because everything first it was like, well, we'll see what maybe go to other consoles, and then now it's there's no red line basically, so anything can be going. So it's gonna be interesting to see it's gonna be interesting to see a Halo on something else other than the Xbox. Same.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Gears is gonna be going. Well, Gears probably be going whenever they do the remake of that. that'll probably be going soon as well, man. But the gaming landscape is changing, but it's still staying the same on some accounts. You know, you look at Sony, PlayStation still kind of they're the market leader. They do what they want to do, no matter
That's
what.
true.
Yeah. So and then the Xbox has been in third place for so long. You could really say second because Nintendo, once again, Nintendo marches to the beat of their own drum. They do what they want, regardless of
Yeah,
what's
yeah, you
going
can't really
on.
count Nintendo in the if you want console wars conversation because
Yeah.
they have their own different fan base. They market to kids and families more than just like gamers and adults and stuff like that. And they have a fan base. Like Sony has a fan base, Microsoft has a fan base. Nintendo got a fan base that pre-exists both of those companies making video games.
Right.
So they have a branding on their side. Like again, like I'll have a PS5, I'll have an Xbox or something, but I will always have whatever the current generation Nintendo game, especially if it's a handheld. I'll definitely have that. Just
Yeah.
because of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Going back to full circle, because I put a pin in that. We're not skipping that one. Pokemon. I'm so happy you brought that up. Which Pokemon games you playing right now? Scarlet Violet or Sword and Shield? Who's your starters? Do you normally pick fire types all the time, or like let's just go down that rabbit hole?
The last one I was playing Scarlet. I have Violet as well. I haven't I bought both of them when they first came out. But
Smart man.
I think I just I was playing Scarlet last. I need to jump back in because I want to jump back in and work on getting my rank going, trying to climb the ladder again. But normally, oh man, I go water, depending on unless the fire type unless the other type is something about the other type I like. I love like I think this gen I went fire. I
Okay.
love not Cardinal. I'm thinking about my boy for alligator. Like my all time favorite. Well, it's like a tie for my all time favorite. It's for alligator and Dragonite. Those like my all time favorite Pokemon, no matter what.
Okay.
I love Ferret. If I could have Feraligatr on my team in a playthrough, I'm gonna have Feraligatr on my team. That's my guy. Same thing with
Okay.
Dragonite. But normally I like I said, I go water, but like I said, this past one with Scarlet and Violet, with Scarlet, I went fire. And I can't think of the name of the
Point Coco and
yes.
Stella Dirge. Yeah,
Yeah.
I go. I'm always strictly fire, even when I'm disappointed getting three fire fighting starters in a row. But they should never make another firefighting starter. But I'm strictly fire.
Yeah, yeah, and then see that's why I said like in like last Sword and Shield I went. Where did I go? I went water. I went with to get Intellion.
Inteleon.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I went water. And I think the generation before that, which was what Sun and Moon was it Sun and
Yeah.
Moon? Yeah, and I think I went with Lydon on that one. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, I switch it up in like I like and this is I think when I very first started playing I went with Squirtle. My very first one was Squirtle. Like I normally go. That's how I've always been. I it's like the water starter, and then if the water starter's not good, I'll go fire. But usually I'm looking at that water starter first to see what he gonna be. But I do enjoy the fire types. You know, Monferno, Blaziken, um, Infernape, you know, when he's final form.
Right.
You know, but I give my love to my grass types as well. I've even done like some of the great, you know, Venusaur is always Venusaur, who else? The 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 grass type from this current generation is pretty it turns out pretty good at the end. I think it's grass dark is her type.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the name of that one.
Yeah.
I'm not a big grass starter, so I'm like I only get them when I get them in the surprise trade, and then I just like, all right, you fully evolved, sit in the box.
And see, the grass be all right, man. I like grass. Cause I for a while there I was poison guy. I used to
Mm,
love like when I made my teams go to be competitive. I always like somebody that can cause poison. We gonna get you with this. I'm gonna hit you that. So usually something like have a grass poison or something along that lines. But yeah, man, my favorite typing is probably I don't want to be a punk and say dragon, so I'm gonna say
There ain't nothing wrong with like, I mean, you're gonna be waiting for your Pokemon to evolve for a long time, but like ain't no
Yeah.
wrong with dragon trainers because once you're there, you legendary and it's hard to
Yeah,
get to you.
yeah. But I like some of the. That's why I say I would go with Dragon, but just on a off another chance or another one I would pick. I would probably say, yeah, it'd probably water.
Okay.
Yeah. But Dragon is probably my yeah. Dragon types are all right, but I've tried to use like you said you do the Nuzlocke. I'll go through a playthrough where I'll go through and I'll do I do no starters. Like I get a starter, but once I get my starter,
Oh,
it's going in the
I've
box.
never done that. I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
gotta always have at least one starter in the party, regardless.
No, I've done a no starter and just put once you get your starter, you put them in the box, and then I just pick somebody else and we roll. I build my team from there from folks around.
That's that sounds dangerous.
No,
I've never done that. I'm
it's
gonna
fun.
make a new playthrough now and just do that.
It's pretty fun, man. Because I believe it's a lot of cool minds out there, man. So and I try to give it, especially all the ones. I try to give them a good chance. So that's why I say, sometimes I be like, man, I got this starter. You know what? Let's do it. And I started. That's how I started one day. I was like, oh man, I got the starter on here. You know what? I'm gonna do me a no starter playthrough. So I booted it back up and started. Like once I got my starter. I think what I did was I got my starter, but I ended up using him. You got to use your starter to catch other Pokemon. So
Right, right, right.
I caught some other Pokemon. Once I got once I got them up to like the same level my starter was, started one in the box, stayed there, didn't pull them out didn't pull them out at all actually. So
So does that make like, especially the beginning of the game, does it make it more challenging because like you don't just have that starter that has good stats that you can just wipe the first three gyms with regardless?
it all depends on what Pokemon you catch, and which
Okay.
ones which ones you decide to use, and what you can do is like you want to make it harder. So I would do no starters, and then you would only be able to. What I would probably do is do no starters, and either like you can only have your team. Basically, once you full your team up, that's got to be your team for the whole playthrough. Something like that to
Oh, that's
add
hard
to it.
too.
Yeah, so that was say if you catch, you done caught so many Pokemon, or you done filled your team up, and you got all Rattatas, you messed up. You know what I'm saying? Do
Well, you could give them endure and endeavor and just kind of run with it. To be honest, I've seen
yeah,
that playthrough.
yeah. But I would that's what I was like something I would find out, get me certain one. So only had like three, maybe four of my party. That way I ain't got to, you find ways around, find ways to do it or find ways to make it more difficult for yourself. But yeah, I love no starter playthrough, especially after I played through the game once or twice already. Yeah, we go do this no starter playthrough. Go put this starter in the box and use something else.
All right, before we move on from this last question about Pokemon, let's say the southeast of the United States is in the Pokemon world, and it's a Pokemon region. You are a trainer. You start out 10 years old, you're working your way up to be a champion. You have the Elite Four. What
Mm-hmm.
is your six Pokemon you're taking with you to the Elite Four?
This it. We're gonna go with for alligator,
All right.
Dragonite, Don Fan.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I like Don Fan is one of my favorites. Oh man, I don't want to pick. I ain't gonna pick that. I ain't gonna that's that. Even though I like the whole Godzilla thing, I ain't gonna do my boy. I'm gonna leave my boy T-Tar in the box. I love a good electric Pokemon, so I'm gonna go with Ampharos. Ampharos has always been one of my favorites. Especially back one of my favorite electric ones. I'm trying to think who's a good fire. Ooh, and you caught me because I had my three, and I'm trying to think of a good fire somebody that I normally would play roll with. Not that don't want to do that one. I can't think. What we got? We got
You got
Alligator,
Feraligatr,
Dragonite,
Donphan,
Donphan,
Dragonite,
Ampharos,
Ampharos.
and let's see what either. Trying to think of a fire one that would that and it's big. It's you can tell I haven't played in a minute because I can't remember anybody. I will go with Lord. I can't think of nobody, man.
I'll put you on the spot. I got
You
you.
did,
I got you.
you did, and it's because and I have not played in a minute, so I'm trying to think of a certain one. Like I know from I was trying to think of another grass, either grass or another. I would say Sylveon. I'll add her to add him to the list because
All right. Sylvia
that
on series.
yeah because so and you can give me Sylveon, you can give me Umbreon. I don't even need to fire. Let me get that. I can roll with
Okay.
that. I can roll with that. Rock with that.
So what are your favorite video games of all times? What are some of your favorite video games, favorite video game companies, favorite genres,
Mhm.
favorite consoles? Let's go down this ultimate gamer rabbit hole that you are.
Sure, sure. Favorite console, they range from like I love the 360 generation, love the Dreamcast, um, Nintendo 64. Like that's all those like classic consoles to me. You can throw the PlayStation 2 in there. PlayStation 1 for me. Those are some of my favorites. Now we're talking games, man. My favorite all time favorite video game is to this day is still KOTOR. That's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I love
Okay,
that game.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah, yeah,
I get that. Koto's pretty cool.
yeah. I love that game. Fable 1 and 2 are up there, are high up there for me as well.
Fable. Okay, yo, my 360 era, Fable was the game I played. That was my jam right there.
Oh man, and I'm so glad we're getting basically they're doing a new Fable game. I can't wait for that to come out. Something else that ranks high for me and is the new God of War series, like God of War Ragnarok. I love those two games, man. Those were the story and just everything that goes on in those games are so good. What happens in the second one, it's really good. But it's plenty of other games that I have played through. Like I said, Pokemon games are always gonna be a Pokemon Gold and Silver up there for me. Um, uh, Black, Black and White too. I love those. I know a lot of people, those are a lot of people. Well, not a lot of some people didn't like those. I love Black and White and Black and White too.
No,
Um,
those were good. It was before Pokemon got super easy.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
the last hard Pokemon game for to
oh
play, so I
man,
remember that.
if you want a challenge, go get Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I still haven't beaten that. I need to finish that. You're right. That is a challenge. And I do like the chibi animation, but I get it. I get the criticisms that people have about it. But you're right. That actually is kind of challenging because it brings back the old school dungeon stuff.
Yep.
And you walk 5 feet and get poisoned. Like it brings back like the old school playthroughs that I used to have from like the first 5 generations.
Yes, and trying to beat the Elite Four is hard as heck.
I'm on Victory Road on my first playthrough now that I think about it. So I have to go back and finish. I gotta go back and finish it.
Yeah, when you try, listen, it took me a minute to be. I was like, Cynthia, oh, I enjoyed so many games 360 era from uh Halo 2 mentioned that, Gears of War, um, like it's so many really good games. Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I remember spending hours playing that game. Um, Back in the day, back in when I had to play, I think it was on PlayStation 1. Tomb Raider. I started out with Tomb Raider 3 and went back from there when I had my first PlayStation. Um, I used to be a big fan. Still love Star Wars, but like the Star Wars games, as I named Star Wars Knights of the Republic, but I used to love the Star Wars Rogue Squadron games that was on the 64. They came out with like a Star Wars Squadrons game. About a few years back, I played through that. It was on by EA or whatever, but like I have my certain games. My favorite genre, it's probably gonna be. I love a good RPG. I'm not a huge turn based, depending on the story. I'll do some turn based, but I love a good RPG, action RPG, stuff like I got recent like this past year I played Dragon's Dogma 2. which was I really enjoyed that game. That was so much fun. You got stuff like that. You play through Starfield. I put like a bunch of hours in Starfield. I loved Starfield. I thought it was an amazing game. Um, but I love a good RPG. And then I have my little, you get your I ain't gonna say cozy games, but those games of like a game I have to give a shout out to Dave the Diver. Like if it's it's a simple concept, but it's so much fun. It has some funny moments and anything of that nature. Dave the Diver is really good. Um, Tales of Kanzera was really good. Some more like, along the lines like a platformer, but like usually RPGs are my go-to. Some action adventure games. I'm not a big Souls game guy. I'll play,
Mm.
I'll play some. But the once again back on the Star Wars series, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Both of those games were fantastic. Jedi Survivor was so good last year. I know it had a few issues at launch with some people having encountering bugs, but the game for me was phenomenal. That would have been my game of the year that year had it not been for Starfield, because I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the gameplay, I love the stuff they added to the game. But Star Wars Survivor, Jedi Survivor was really good. But yeah, those just some of my games, some of my favorites uh, in the gaming space and everything like that.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. A lot of what you said, like I either remember playing a lot of or just watching my friends play the Demon Souls franchise. Love it, hate it, toss the PS3 out the window because I was so frustrated and never played that game again. Like that's just like oh my
Yeah, yeah.
flashbacks, flashbacks. So let's step outside of the gaming space for a second. You brought, you obviously you like anime and you're into other things. What other things do you like to geek out to outside of gaming?
Yeah. Like anime. I'm a big anime guy. Have been for long as I can remember. I've probably been in one of one of the very first anime I remember watching. Shouldn't have been watching it. Should not have been watching it. So do not let your kids watch this anime at all. And uh that is Ninja Scroll. If you've
Ninja
seen
Scroll on me. Okay, okay. You know what? I get it. I get it. Ninja Scroll's a good anime.
it is.
Both the movie and the series, they're both good. Two completely different stories, but it's good. But you're right. Don't
I,
let your kids watch that.
I
My
saw the
dad
movie.
let me watch that in middle school because he
I,
had the DVD set.
yeah, I
Terrible
watched
father.
the movie. I watched the movie. But I love that's kind of what set me on this path. But Ninja Scroll, not too long after that, I think I saw Wicked City and then Akira and all those others. But I'm a big anime guy. I love anime, hence the name Husky Hokage. But and it ranges. I watch a little bit of everything. I love one of my favorites. I love is Haiku. It's a volleyball anime. And before y'all say volleyball, yes, volleyball. And when I tell you them guys go hard, I love that. Look, I watched. They just had a movie this past year. That was really good. So if you get a chance to check that out, I think it's on Crunchyroll as well. But my hero, my hero ties back into my love of superheroes and comics. And
Mm.
you get that in the anime style with my hero, man. And I know people had their issues with it. However, my hero has always been an amazing thing for me. I love the story. I love the characters in the show. I've seen the movies, all this stuff. So I'm a big My Hero fan as well. And as I just mentioned, I love comics. You know what I'm saying? From Marvel, DC, even some of the smaller people, comic creators. But love comics. Been reading comics for as long as I can remember. From some of my favorites back in the day, I was a big X-Men guy. I love the New Mutants back in the day. I was big on them. From Batman, more so the Bat family than Batman himself.
Right.
But Batman was cool. I have some of his stuff, especially some of those stories. I will say they have some those events or those stories they had tell in the Batman series or just overall through the comics. Oh man, Death of a Family or Death in the Family, Quarter Owls, just some of the more recent ones. Uh, Spider Man, Miles Morales and all of them. But I love comics. I love wrestling. I am a big wrestling guy. I watch so many indie promotions. I watch WWE. I try to catch AEW from time to time. Getting back into TNA. And like I said, it's a black wrestling company called Ashe. I just been following them off and on, but they just started doing like a weekly show on Thursdays. They have some really good wrestlers. Wrestling. I'm trying to think what else. I name Star Wars. Love Star Wars. Star Trek. I watch both, so ain't no fighting over here. Big Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who.
Okay.
Uh, so I'm a Whovian, as they say. Now I will say this: it's not the old stuff. I'm talking about like I started like when Eccleston was like the doctor. So, but I want to go back and check out some of the old stuff. I just got to find out where to watch it. But I have my I like I'm a fan of stuff. I guess stuff you would consider nerdy or nerd stuff. From Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, to and I'm a big sports fan. Football personally, love football. My team lost yesterday, so I'm a little hurt by that. But
Wait. Who's your team? Who's your team?
Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. You know what? I had so much hope with that Lamar Jackson Derrick Henry combination. And I was
Ah,
like, it was so potent. And then y'all had to go play in the snow. Wait, who do y'all play? Y'all played the Bills, right? Yeah,
played
y'all
the
played the
Bills.
Bills.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, another repeat of the Bills in Kansas City, and Kansas City winning some miracle overtime play.
yeah.
Oh, the
So
AFC is so boring. Mix
yeah,
it
so
up a little bit.
I'm looking. I'm so right. So with the Ravens being out, I am now all my rooting and cheers go for the Eagles. And it's so crazy. I I was telling my friends this other day, yesterday. I wasn't like a diehard Kansas City fan, but I used to root for Kansas City. And I'm not talking about Mahomes Kansas City. I'm talking about before he got there, like back when they had Trent Green, Priest Holmes,
Mm.
through those years, Jamal Charles, Tony Gonzalez. I used to root.
Yes.
I used to root for the Chiefs,
Yeah,
boy. You
I
know what I'm
feel
saying?
you. Yeah.
And when they got with Mahomes, I was so happy for them when they won their first Super Bowl. But now it's like they treat Mahomes like he's Tom Brady, like they used to treat Tom Brady. If you touch him wrong, throw the flag.
Yeah, I kind
Throw
of
the flag.
hate that. I kind of hate that. Don't get me wrong, love a black man is now the darling child of the NFL. Downside, you're just the Tom Brady of the NFL right now. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's just what it is. Your team is
yeah,
always going to win. Blah blah blah. And there's like I kind of hated. The Patriots for 20 years just kind of ruined it.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm like, man, I really, yeah. But I watch some basketball, like MMA. But mostly it's football, man. NFL, college football. Um, like I said, just if this can be or might be considered nerdy. I'm probably doing like I just named. I'm working on. I build my Gundam model kits. I collect Transformers, collect Funkos. Um, yeah, I do a little bit of it. Involved in a little bit of everything when it comes to nerd culture. So
Okay, I got you. I got you. Let's talk about your collectibles and stuff. I got a really fun question. You're a family man, your
yeah.
dad, your husband. You have your collectibles, your Gundams, and everything you build. My first question I want to ask about that is, how do you keep your kids out of your stuff?
So so they know not to mess with. They know not to mess with. We've had conversations. They know not to mess with my stuff. Like when it comes, like I have a 3-year old. He'll look and he'll be like, I want to play with. Like I have certain. You can see right here, like those are like my transformers back there in the back. But like I have, it's not it's not good lighting, but I have a good number back here, right here, and I have a few on my desk. But they kind of know like, oh, that's daddy stuff. That's not now, and they have broken several of my model kits. So yeah, and that's because I had it on my desk, and kids that playing ball in the house, it gets knocked over or something. They done did something to break it. So I done lost like two Gundams, Gunpla kits because of that. So
Mm.
yeah. So But for the most part, like they've done that. Like as far as my when it comes to my controllers and gaming stuff, they know not to. Let's not mess with that. That's dad. They daddy don't. So they don't. Thankfully, they don't mess with that. Now, even though I've lost a couple of Gundam stuff, I mean Gundam things, but it's for the most part it's been all right. But like I said, I do that. I collect. I'm on a hunt for like certain. As long as it's not overpriced. Like I do. I would get it, but it's like all the way up here at the top of my shelf. But let me see if I can just raise my camera here. But I finally got completed my Voltron. I could try to get the Voltron.
Okay, I see it. I see it. I used to have one of those. Okay.
Regular Megazord. I got that up there. I'm on the hunt for like a Dragon Zord and when the Dragon Zord and a couple other Megazords I gotta get. But I ain't trying to pay like out the wazoo for them. So
The original legendary stuff or the solo joking stuff is expensive, but I'm like,
yeah.
if my landlord can let me, like, pay rent a little later, I might be able to sneak one or something like that. Or especially like those self-transforming Autobots and Decepticons where
Oh
you like
man.
Optimus Prime transform. I was like, yo, I want one. Let me see how much is it. Literally 1 month's rent. All right, bet. Let me figure something out.
Yeah, those things
But
are expensive. Yeah.
they are. Being a nerd is expensive because, like, now you have
It
adult
is.
money and you just like all the stuff that my mom and dad wouldn't get me. I'm finna go get right now.
Yep.
Oh, I have to be an adult and be financially responsible. F that. I'm gonna go get it. I'll
Yeah.
be all right. I can eat ramen noodles in my 40s.
Listen, listen. It's
Live the
so
ultimate
hard.
college life. But are your kids like interested in, like, you keep calling it all like nerdy stuff, but it's just really stuff with how the
Yeah,
world
yeah,
is in society, pop culture. It's
yeah,
just stuff. It all bleeds together.
yeah. My kids, they game. They do game. This whole weekend, all I've been hearing, they've been playing Fortnite or whatever else. But they play Fortnite. And they play some other stuff. But my middle son, he loves wrestling like I do. Um, so if we'll sit down and watch wrestling together. Haven't quite gotten them into anime though. I've tried. They just ain't vibing with it yet. So maybe one day. But yeah, they
They'll get there. Just show them some Dragon Ball Z and the Cell Saga or the Fusion Saga. They'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's get this anime going.
yeah, and so like they know certain ones or whatever like Dragon Ball, Naruto. Like I bought like my middle son, he loves fighting games, and he's pretty good at them. So I ended up getting him when it was haven't gotten a new Dragon Ball game, but he had Dragon Ball Fighters, and he loved fighters. So, but yeah, so if I can just try to watch the anime itself, so we'll keep working on it. But yeah.
So we have talked about a lot of stuff. We have been on for a good hot minute. Before we end the show,
Mhm.
why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs?
Oh, absolutely, man. First off, Mark, I want to thank you for your time and just for having me on here. But you guys can follow me. I am the Husky Hokage pretty much everywhere. Back on Tickety Talk now. Instagram, YouTube. I'm gonna start doing more long form content that I'll be posting on my YouTube as well. BlueSky, Twitter. Also, you can find me. I do game reviews and I write articles over at gamersocialclub.ca. I'm a writer and editor over there. So I should be on the lookout for that. I got a couple of big things coming out as far as like reviews game wise that'll be coming out in the next few months. Um, but yeah, we also and there's a lot of good stuff. We track news and everything like that. So I'm over there as well. You can find me there. You can find me pretty much on all social media sites as well.
Don't forget to drop your plug your podcast because
Oh, that's right.
next week we'll be doing this again, but in
Yes.
reverse.
Yes, yes. So, first, thank you for reminding me, and let me give a shout out to everybody over at the Blerd Syndicate. So, you can find me and my podcast over at the Blerd Syndicate. We're the Blerd Syndicate on YouTube. That's where YouTube, Facebook, and all that you'll be able to find us there. And my podcast, which is called Victory Road, a gaming podcast. We're also featuring
Perfect name.
Yeah, we're also featured on the Blerd Syndicate website. I mean, YouTube page. Also, I have a Twitch page under my name, under the Husky Hokage. Also, my podcast is shown live. So whenever we go live or whenever we post episodes, you can always watch it on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. But if you're on Facebook or YouTube, it's under the Blerd Syndicate. But if you're watching it on Twitch, you can find me. It'll be under my page under the Husky Hokage.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Before we go, do you have any final thoughts? Anything on your mind that you want to talk about? Something you might have missed, and then discuss. The floor is yours.
I don't have anything. I do once again I want to thank you for having me on here. I greatly appreciate it. But I'm excited for next week for you to come on our meet me and my co-host my cousin is my co-host is my cousin. Me and
Okay.
him we've been gaming since back in the day back in the day or whatever. He since like Pokemon Gold and Silver. Like we've been playing games for a long time. He's a big gamer. He plays a lot more games than I do. But he doesn't have any responsibilities as far as kids or anything like that. So, but yeah, just be on the lookout for more stuff from me, man. Content wise, like I said, I'll be on YouTube creating more content. Try to start more streaming on a consistent basis, like on Twitch, maybe even TikTok still. But definitely stay tuned, man. I got some stuff coming. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And again, man, thank you so much for just hopping on. I know we planned this sometime at the end of last year, but then
Yeah.
life was lifing and the car was carring and working was working.
Yeah.
So I just thank you for being patient with me. I consume your content on a daily basis. Like you are legitimately somebody. You, Old Man Food and Anime, Kevlock, Chris Dunn,
Yeah.
a lot of the TikTok creators. I just consume y'all content every day. Like it's not a Wednesday if I don't get an anime question of the day and a gaming question of the day, at least. And then I'll feel like posting my blurred questions of the day if I can think of something good. So
Yeah.
like again, thank you. Like I love like creating with you guys and just collaborating and just like you guys are inspiring. Like Old Man Food and Anime who got me pushed me back more in anime. You're
Yeah.
kind of getting me to like, hey, you went to college for gaming. Go game and relax and have a beer and stop stressing out in
Yeah.
life. So like I'll go play some Pokemon. I'm currently doing the Indigo Disc DLC and
Yeah.
doing a Nuzlocke on Sword, Pokemon Sword. Don't know why, because I'm like this game is dumb. But I'm doing it. It's hard. I hate it. Don't know why. And I'm trying to get through Tears of the Kingdom. Like it's such a
Yeah.
massive game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to enjoy it instead of just rush through it because it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And one day I'll finish Dragon Age on PS4. One day. But thank you for coming on. You're so
My pleasure.
inspiring just because you are doing what you want to do, and you're being a nerd, you're being a black man, and you're just creating content, and you're not letting anything stop you. And that by itself is something that we need. As I said, this is living blurred history. Everybody in my on my channel, in my blurred sphere, everybody that knows me knows you, and they just wanted to get to know you. So this was a good time for people to get to know you. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Once again, Mark, thank you, and I appreciate you for having me.
No problem. But for everybody else, this has been Blerdkast. You can find Blerdkast everywhere on the internet that you can find blerdography. All right, let me start that over again. Hold on. Because now I have all these new social media apps and I have to update my script that I'm looking at the wall. Okay, all right. So for everybody else, this has been Blerdkast. You can find Blerdkast everywhere you listen to your podcast, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Google Music, if that's still around, on Amazon Music, and hopefully a few other places coming up soon. And you can follow Blerdography on all social media platforms online. Lemonade, Red Note, Fanbase. Got to give those some credit now, as well as TikTok, I guess Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, even though I'm not really happy with them. And of course YouTube. Support me on YouTube. I like that YouTube stuff. Keep hitting the subscribe button on YouTube, y'all. You gotta keep plugging the YouTube thing. But until the next episode, this has been Blerdography. I don't know. I gotta come up with a better outro. I gotta come up with like because like now I'm just bored of repeating the same words over and over again.